Good morning, IBPA program. Thank you to everybody for getting together this morning across different parts of the country as well as different parts of the globe. Really appreciate it. I think it's important to get together and talk about program-specific things. We do a lot of meetings for department-wide as well as subgroups, but I think the program-level meetings are important as well. We got a pretty good agenda. It'll be similar to what we had last time. We're going to introduce a new team to spotlight. We're going to talk about testing automation. Talk about some different innovation items that other people in the program are working on, and a lot of different other things. So without further ado, kind of like to start to kick off this meeting with introductions to some of our new team members. So Ian Mantra has been a member of our program for a while. Been working with Deepon and Aaron over in FPA. But he's now going to be moving over to the manager of the higher ed team. So if you see Ion, congratulate him. I think it's effective as of yesterday. So now he'll be moving into that role, and we'll be hoping to look to backfill him in his position over there where he came from. Also like to welcome John Halstead. He's another familiar face to the program, but he's moved from a QA role into a product owner role, and he's going to be the product owner for data integrations. The data integrations team is going to be helping out Paul Tam, who was kind of wearing three hats actually. And then eventually, as he gets more ingrained in the PO role and position, he might, and I think he is going to take over the financial services PO position as well. That's being filled by Steve Pierce, who's a manager who's also wearing multiple hats. So it'd be good to have somebody who can fill in full time for both of those teams in the product owner position. So that's really great. Congratulate John. Another familiar face, Patrick O'Donnell. He's been our product owner for RPA for a while. He's now moving over and expanding, I guess, his role as a product owner to include App Enabler. So that App Enabler has been a linchpin app module for us for a long time. As we go into the modern era, it's going to need somebody to really help drive that functionality and drive those features to a modern application, and we feel Patrick is the one to help us do that. There's a lot of synergy between that and our App Enabler and RPA, so that's kind of why we joined those under one product owner. So if you see him, congratulate him on his expanded role. And then we have two brand new members in David Glasser and David Saunders, so it's going to be easy to remember. If you don't know, if you see two new faces, call them David, and you probably got it right. I hope Dave, they both go by David or they both go by Dave. I'm actually not sure. But they came from the healthcare side of things, and they're going to be on Veronica's team, helping out with the QA stuff that's going on there. So really appreciate those two adding to our QA roles within our programs. Much needed help. Some other folks that have moved around a little bit. We definitely have had three very qualified Dev 5s in our program for a while. We've kind of been trying to figure out where everybody fits the best and where everybody can help and where everybody's skills and experiences meld in the best. So what we've kind of settled on over the last year is we're going to have Alicia continue and expand her role a little bit in terms of financial services and supporting the government team and all their architectural needs. She's also working with Yana and some of the other Dev 6s on some higher level architectural needs such as convergence and things like that. So while Alicia's main focus will be on government and financial services, she may be hitting all other teams with some higher level features and architectural initiatives that are coming from outside of the program. With that, we've asked Jim to expand his area of emphasis, I guess, if you will, from not just the Goose group, which I like, Google and Outlook and some of those other automation tools, but also to include some of the insurance side of things to help out in that area. And then Paul has been the data integrations PO as well, or PO and Dev 5, but he'll also be expanding his role in to help with the healthcare. So I think with that sort of distribution of responsibilities, we really have good coverage across the whole program. There are some gaps that do exist outside of the vertical side, but we're looking to fill those and to take care of those in the coming months. And as the purse strings open up, if you will, for hiring I think we'll be able to do that. So look for more information coming there in the coming months. Let's see here. So I want to talk a little bit about automation. I know you guys a lot of you test engineers and a lot of the QA folks are working really hard on automation and automating service handlers. I've gotten nothing but good feedback from Aquila, through Aquila, and also from our QA4, Richard McAleese. Hearing all the interviews that happen and all the State of the Union interviews that have happened across all the department, it sounds like, and from what I'm hearing, that our program has their act together better than a whole lot of other programs. So I'm super proud of that. I think we got the right people in the right place. We were able to promote some people to test engineer, and I think we've got a pretty good amount of those. I know we could always use more, but I'm super excited with all the things that you guys are doing around automation. I've seen a lot of the backlogs. I also was seen a video that I'll call out Mike Sloan, I believe, that did it, and it was related to a Duck Creek and how they were automating the upload of documents in there. So that made its way all the way up to Sam, that video, and all the way up to John Phelan, actually. And we've gotten some emails back saying, we should use this to show other people what can be done, and for people that are struggling to actually look at this video and say, okay, yeah, this is something we can do, or if we don't know how to do that, maybe we should go talk to these folks that are doing it. So couldn't be more prouder and more happy with that kind of attention that our program is getting. With that, not every new endeavor related to test automation and really development in general and testing is always a success. So I want to make sure you guys are aware, and I guess aware is the wrong word, but you're confident enough to say, look, there's probably multiple ways to skin the cat, I guess you call it, or to get to the end game of reducing your regression testing down from, let's say, 16 weeks down to 4, or some reasonable amount that will help make quicker releases more of a reality. Along your journey to figure out how to do that, I understand that it's all, and all your managers and senior managers understand this is all new, green field that we're trying to figure things out. So I want to make sure you know that don't get caught in analysis paralysis. Don't get caught in trying to figure out the very best solution and spending all your time just coming up with the exact solution that will solve things perfectly, because it probably doesn't exist. My advice to you is to take on a direction, try it out. If that direction fails, fail quickly, as they say, and then move on to another direction. If you get momentum and you start to see some successes, tout those successes, talk to other people about those successes you're having, and socialize them, and see if people can say, okay, yeah, if you take this in this direction, you're going to continue to have success, or, oh yeah, it was successful in the short term, but long term, you're going to run into this, that, or the other sort of roadblock. So, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid that, hey, if I pick the wrong thing, someone's going to look at me and question, my technical abilities or my abilities to solve problems. That's not the case. We understand that, this is all hard. This is all new. You can talk to Mike Fowler and a few others that have been around me. I think I made a living out of failing and failing quickly. SharePoint was a great example. I can't tell you how many times I failed trying to build web parts for SharePoint. And today, they're still around and they still got their problems. But that was an example that way back in the day that you got to be willing to put your neck out there. No one's gonna come and save your butt some days. It's up to you to get out there and make things happen. So. I encourage you to all take that risk and do it. Like I said, feel empowered and not afraid to do it. And then the last thing is, I said last week there was a guy outside my office, Eric, who we always stare at each other, and I was going to make a point to meet him. I was able to do that. So thank you, Eric, for spending some time with me. I heard a little bit about his stories about the House of Sorrow, or the House of Pain, as they call the Browns games. He had enough on a Monday night game when we had a blocked field goal, and he decided he was never going to go to another game again. That was an interesting, funny story from him. Hearing about his past and where he came from, I think was really interesting. I like having a diverse group of people with different experiences in our program. I think it does nothing but help help us, solve problems better when people have different aspects and different history that they can leverage to solve problems. One of the funniest stories that Eric told me was related to a golf cart on a airstrip on some island out in Lake Erie, and I thought that was pretty funny. But I also felt like he one-upped me. So as a guy who owns his own golf cart, I feel that the need to go out and find me an airstrip. So that's what I'm going to do. So with this, I'll be in later. But for now, I'm getting in my golf cart. And I'm off to go find me an airstrip to run into. Bye now.